Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Thursday, January 12th. Didn't we just have, okay, this is all the new upgrade stuff that we're talking about. See, these solar flares are making time warp, aren't they? And aren't we glad now that Mercury goes direct tomorrow from its retro... Wait a minute. It's what? It's not Mercury. It's Mars? Oh. Well, tell the FAA that. Oh my goodness, I got up early yesterday to do the podcast, but I did not see about the news of the FAA grounding all the airplanes in the United States because of a computer issue. Somebody told me about that later in the morning. Wow. Of course, you know me, doubting Thomas and the whole thing. I smell a rat, some in there somewhere, but we'll see, I guess, as it all comes out. But no, Mercury doesn't turn direct until all the way to next Wednesday. But yes, the big one today at 3:54 p.m. Eastern Time, or depending on where you are, about then, Mars does turn direct today. Then, 2 hours later, at 6:06 p.m., the moon goes void of course in Virgo, and that's a 4-hour void of course, moving into Libra at 5 minutes before 10 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you who are sensitive to these things that we talk about every day, this individual daily energy, this one is one you're likely to feel. Mars is stationary right now. It's been at 8 degrees all week, so we are really feeling Mars energy. Has it been tense? I've heard for a lot of people it has. Feeling conflicted, divided, torn asunder between two or more options or possibilities? That's Mars in Gemini, lighting back up, full steam. Shut down the whole United States air system. First time that's taken place in over 20 years, since 9/11. Isn't Gemini ruled by Mercury? And wouldn't Mars possibly give us a clue of an act of war, i.e. sabotage, rather than just a bunch of 30-year-old tubes in a computer system all of a sudden not working? My radio client says, I was born at night, but not last night. So that was all yesterday morning's news. Of course, it was resolved by 9 o'clock Eastern Time, so maybe those of you on the West Coast wouldn't have even known about it. But then I got this great message from Lindsay. Listen to this.
Hey, Thomas, this is Lindsay in Indiana. We're talking about solar flares, and it's so funny that last night I was at the dentist and their computer system went down. And earlier in the office, the computers were acting up. But also last night at the dentist, I just casually said, oh, there must be some kind of like solar flare happening right now. Having no idea, not researching or picking up on that at all through any kind of news or social media. And then I hear your podcast and it like confirms it. I feel like I'm on that side maybe of that spiritual download in a way, but it's more of I question something or I'm thinking something. And then all of a sudden it's like the thing happens. There have been like so many signs of that just since like the start of the new year.
Wow, Lindsay, you couldn't have complimented yesterday's episode more directly than both of those points. Not only the computer malfunction at the dentist's office, but also what you are feeling and experiencing. I'm really interested in this. Any others of you that would like to weigh in on that, just do what she did and hit the speak pipe, because I think it benefits all of us to know how this is impacting various people. So feel free to tell us your story. Or you may be more in the observation mode like I am, just watching and observing, but not yet experiencing perhaps something like what Lindsay said. That was great. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Now, in addition to Mars going direct later this afternoon, I would say if you are feeling conflicted right now, take a look at the chart. I'm not going to try to describe all of these, but there are a lot of aspects in the chart configuration today. Every planet basically is in some kind of either red or blue on my screen, blue being favorable and red being tense, aspects tying all of this energy together in either ease and flow. Like, for example, the moon is trine the sun today. There is our soul and our ego wanting to mesh and work on earthy-related things. perhaps grounding like we talked about yesterday. And then Mars, turning direct, is in this sesquisquare, this 135-degree, somewhat tense aspect with the Sun. Boy, I'll tell you, the kids that are born today are going to have some powerful energy working itself out over their lifetimes. A couple of other just high points here. For example, the Moon is opposite Neptune today. So what does that do to your intuition? Brings it for sure. Brings it for sure. Brings it, but also possibly with some tension. And then we're talking about Mars, because it's kind of the highlight today, is in a trine with Venus. Venus in Aquarius, trine to Aries, Gemini. So with that sesquisquare to the Sun, it could throw your ego a loop, but it could perhaps give your heart a couple of options, both of which aren't bad. And to wrap up the show with a good note, I saw that yesterday NFL player Damar Hamlin was released from the hospital after his cardiac arrest on the field Monday night ago. And I know there are millions and millions of people, regardless of which planet in his chart might have contributed to any of this. We're just glad he's okay. And we will thank the heavens for that. Thanks so much for listening. TGI Friday tomorrow. Have a great day.